Accidents happen, and sometimes these accidents can cause severe bleeding. If severe bleeding can't be stopped with just normal means of pressure or over-the-counter bandages, we may need to apply a tourniquet. A tourniquet is a device that we put on an extremity to cause pressure against your arm or leg in order to compress the artery against a bone and slow blood flow to the injury itself. When we want to apply a tourniquet, we want to look at the site of injury first. I'm going to use Chloe here as a demonstration. If she has an injury to the lower portion of her arm, we want to look to see there's at least 2 to 3 inches above that injury where a spot for a tourniquet is available. If there is, we're going to slide the tourniquet on loose above the injury, at least 2 to 3 inches. Then we're going to use the Velcro through the buckle and tighten it down as much as possible. We really want to crank on this and get it as tight as possible before we go to the next step. Once we have it very tight, we're going to go to the rod on top called the windlass. As we spin this, it creates more tension and applies more pressure against the arm. We'll spin this down and we'll also look at the site that's bleeding. As we spin this, we want to see that bleeding start to slow or even stop. Once we have that bleeding stopped, or as much pressure we can possibly get out of tightening this, we're going to lock it down into these plastic pieces on the top and put the locking Velcro strap on top as well. On that Velcro strap, we have a spot to mark time for when that tourniquet was applied. After we have our tourniquet applied, we want to assess the bleeding. If the bleeding has slowed but hasn't completely stopped, we can try applying bandages. If the bandages are becoming soaked and bleeding is still uncontrolled, it is possible to put on a second tourniquet above our first one. If you don't have a commercial tourniquet available, you can make them improvised out of a shirt, cords, or belts.